Welcome back to Patriots Fourth and Two, the new generation. I'm Russ Goldman. He is Brady Goldman. It's been a few weeks, and in this episode, Brady, we're going to look back at the Patriots' victory against the Bengals. Not a pretty one. And we haven't done a show in a while, so we can talk about the last few weeks
Yeah.
and get all caught up on that. And we can also talk about the news, and again, call it
Good news.
speculation.
Good news.
Good news about Will
Much better news
Campbell
than we thought. Yeah.
and Garrett Wilson. We'll talk about that during the show. And guess what? We are live in 3 different places. So let's see if someone joins us. Maybe not, because I did not let anyone know, but that's okay. I just
Yeah,
wanted to
probably not.
do a show with you.
Oh, well.
Oh, well, Brady. Oh, well. Okay. So let's get to just talking about opening reaction on the game yesterday. I watched it with you and your mother, and that wasn't fun. That wasn't a
Oh, God.
joyful game.
Game from
However,
hell. Go ahead.
However, and I've said this to you before, and actually someone that drives me crazy, which is Michael Felger, actually said it. It's a good win because they found a
They
way
played
to win
crap.
when they did not play well.
Yeah.
And that's a sign of a good team. And I hate to agree with Michael Felger, but he happens to be right, Brady.
Did he
It
say
wasn't a
that
good win.
today?
He just said that before we went live.
Oh,
He did.
okay, yeah. Wow, that's
So,
interesting coming from him. Actually gave
very
credit to the
interesting.
Patriots playing like crap. Wow.
Yes. Because the other 2 co-hosts on the show, they thought that it was a bad sign, and he went in the other direction, that it was
Yeah.
actually a good sign. So I'll ask you, is it a good sign or a bad sign?
I mean, yes and no, because it's a bad sign because you had
Okay.
the whole left side of the offensive line hurt. Drake May, I don't know what the heck was going on with him in the first quarter. He definitely he had to have been banged up or something. I mean, we're not going to speculate, but he seemed to have settled down there. So I really like the fact that he had to face some adversity and he did not fumble under pressure. He was able to get some really good throws in the game. Yeah, but it's good because as you said, they played like crap and still won. Yeah, they played the worst defense in the NFL and had 10 chances like to get in the end zone, the 1 yard line. Now, with that, I mean, you need a play. Like the fact that you don't have a play on the 1 yard line that can't punch it in, that's a sign that you really have to reassess your offensive game plan. Something that Josh McDaniels has to work on because in a playoff game, that is unacceptable. I remember the Patriots did that against the Titans in Tom Brady's last game. They had 4 chances to get into the end zone. They did not. And so you got to score points there. The game ultimately was as close as it was is because they had not one, but 2 opportunities to score an easy touchdown, and they came away with 3 points combined in both of those drives. So, again, it's good and bad. I think there's a lot more. Honestly, it's a little bit more bad in this game than good because again, you're facing a horrible defense and they made you look silly. I thought this was the worst the offense had played since week 3 against Pittsburgh. I mean, but not as bad as that because, I mean, that game was horrible. They kept fumbling the ball, but the mistakes, the only thing I didn't see was penalties, which we'll talk about with the offensive line subs in a minute, but
Sure.
but I don't know, just a lot of inconsistencies. You were able to move the ball but not come away with 6 points. It's something that definitely has to be improved, especially when you got Buffalo and then Baltimore back-to-back weeks after they play the Giants. So honestly, a little bit more bad than good, but it kind of evens out in my opinion.
Okay, Brady. I'll share my views on, was it a good win or was it a bad win? Is there a good and bad when we get to our Patriots Fourth and Two talking points? What I'm going to actually talk about my opening reaction is a little bit different. It has to do with the injuries and also has to do with the horrific field that the Patriots played on.
Awful.
So this has not been talked about this morning. I've not heard any talk about the field. This is why I am against field turf. I've been against field turf. It has caused all kinds of problems at Gillette Stadium.
I mean, they were dropping like flies like every play. Like
right.
A player was banged up for
right.
Cincinnati and New England. It wasn't even just a Patriots thing.
Right. It's not just a Bengals thing. It happens to be a league-wide problem. I would say a worldwide problem for anyone that uses field turf. This is something that happens more often than is being talked about. The turf becomes a factor, and it certainly is a factor there. I could tell you that it's a factor at Gillette. We just don't talk about it enough. And this is why I'm about going back to a grass surface. I've said this. I know why they went away
Well,
from it
because the mud when it
because of that
freezes.
mud game. That's the only reason they went away from
Yeah.
it. And I will tell you a big part of the reason why they stick to it is cheap. All owners
Well,
across
yeah, you
the
don't gotta
world
upkeep
that
it.
use
Yeah.
this, there is less upkeep on that than a normal grass surface. So this to me is being cheap. People don't want to hear that,
Well, the
but
owner's cheap. The owner's one of the worst
that
owners in sports. I mean,
but that's what I'm talking about. That owner, I could tell you that the Kraft family is not doing what they should be doing at Gillette Stadium either. It should be a natural grass surface, and you should be able to take care of that throughout the season. Obviously, if you look at Pittsburgh, they do and honestly, that grass surface at the end of the year is not great, and that's the reason why. That's the argument against it. But I will tell you, I would rather have a natural grass surface than this crap that players are getting injured on. And they were dropping like flies, Brady. So
yeah,
my opening reaction is the injuries on both teams, and a
both
lot of
teams.
it was caused
It was
by the turfs.
it was the same thing that the Jets use. It really
Yeah,
reminded me of that. Like it just felt it was ridiculous every play. I mean, we're lucky that the injuries didn't end up being as severe as we first thought when we saw Will Campbell go out in the cart and then Jared Wilson hobbled to the locker room looking like he couldn't even walk.
yeah.
But yeah,
By the way, this is my friend Chris, who lives in England. Thank you, Chris, for saying hello to Brady and myself. He actually shows up a lot on Cottage Talk, but he happens to be a Patriots fan. So I just wanted
there
to
you
share
go.
that. Thank you very much, Chris, for joining Brady and I on this live episode because we're now back live on X, so we could talk about this. So, Brady, let's now talk about the game itself, and we'll go to the Patriots' 4th and 2 talking points. And my first one now we'll talk about my thoughts on the actual game itself, and I call it survive and advance. You should know this from the NCAA basketball tournament. That's been a term used. Just get through the
Yeah.
next round,
Don't care about
survive and
style
advance.
points. Yeah.
It's not about style points. It's
That's what you said yesterday. I remember. I'm like, I thought that I want the Patriots to score
someone
40
said that
points.
during the game, right?
Drake may have 300 yards passing, which he came close. 3 touchdowns. Didn't happen. But
No, it didn't happen,
yeah,
Brady. And I always use, and I was speaking to our friend Steve Balestrieri this morning. The 2003 Patriots as
oh my
a
God.
platform. I know you hate hearing it. No, everyone that knows me hates
Yeah, they could win
me
any
talking about.
game that they put themselves on the field
But they
for.
didn't play
So many
well in
ways.
every game.
They
They
won
didn't.
9-6 against Cleveland.
That's right,
On the goal line against the Colts. We get it. Tennessee Titans beat them 38-30 in Week
right,
5 to begin that streak. I mean, you could
right.
shoot out. You can have a defensive showdown. We get it.
But that's where I go in regards to this game because it's not about style points. They did not play well. Drake May, we'll talk about him, did not play well at all. And you and I were
Really?
talking about what is the reason for Drake May not playing well. Well, we'll get to that. The injuries obviously are a major concern. There's no question about it. But when you come out of this and you are 10-2, and I don't care about who else has played, I don't care about the so-called experts judging the Patriots because I'm sure they are
Yeah.
today
Fool's
and
gold, Cam Newton.
calling it fool's gold. And I really don't care.
That is the most unnecessary beef that I've ever seen out of anybody, especially for ESPN. I mean, the whole Drake May doesn't, Drake May, he should know what show Cam Newton is on. Like, I didn't even know Cam Newton was on First Take. It was like, see that Stephen A. Smith. It was so bad he had to apologize.
He
Like,
did.
this is like one of the most humble quarterbacks in the NFL, and you're like antagonizing him as this a-hole who is arrogant and like, I don't care about Cam Newton. I don't even know what show. Like, stupid. But we're getting sidetracked. But yeah,
We are getting sidetracked. We are getting sidetracked. But again, like I said, watching the game with you, it was difficult. You and I both, and
oh,
I'll put my hand up. I was getting very emotional during the game, and
it,
and
it,
it,
it
it
felt
brought me
like
back.
sad, like like just seeing Will Campbell on the cart like that, and
Yeah,
the fact that the Patriots, like I was just watching the highlights in school before I came home. The Patriots had two, but like even besides the fact they didn't score those touchdowns on that final drive, they had it felt like the game would never end because
yeah,
that 4th and 7 that Mitchell Tinsley came up with somehow. I think Mom called it the David Tyree catch. Not that in that stratosphere, but it was definitely like why is this not ending? And
yeah.
then you had the pass to Yossi Vosh, which set up the Bengals. The Patriots like 21 or something like that. And luckily, Joe Flacco turned back into Joe Flacco, and there couldn't be an argument that the last play may have been a penalty, but I think that ball was underthrown, and Marcus Jones had the right to be able to knock that ball away. So, but the game just felt so dreadful to watch because
Yeah.
you knew the Patriots were the better team, you knew they had the better coach, yet you kept it close. So I understand your perspective.
Okay. Good. All right. Let's move on. And we've already talked a little bit about it. We talked about the injuries, right? And based on what we're hearing, the speculation we're hearing that neither one of these injuries to the left side of the offensive line again, looks like it's season ending. And hopefully they'll both be back before the end
Playoffs.
of the season,
Yeah. Well,
maybe
if
sooner. Who
Campbell
who
goes
shall
on
say?
IR, he can't come back until week 18 against the Dolphins, which I would
Correct.
think maybe if that game ends up being meaningless, they'll just rest him
Yeah.
for the playoffs. All right, hopefully Jared Wilson, his injury doesn't seem like it's as bad. It seems like
Okay.
if he's week to week, he could potentially come back for Buffalo.
Sure.
You got that bye week in between that, which is huge. Now, just trying to get healthy. I didn't see what happened to Brandon Schooler or Tonga. Is there an update on that?
I've not seen any
Let
update
me
on
see.
those guys. I've not seen an update, to be honest with you. But they
Well,
were also
Tonga had a
injured
chest
during the game.
injury,
Right.
but there's been no reporting on that.
Yep. But my point in talking about it in these terms, Brady, because I now want to talk about two offensive linemen who took the place of Garrett Wilson and Will Campbell. And I was actually listening to Greg Bedard. I listened to a lot this morning. You know me, I go out for these long walks now,
Yeah,
and I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I listen to Greg
that
Bedard.
they're well coached now, and that
Well,
they're not akin to play like crap like they were last year because they didn't have the coaching staff
that has a lot to
to
do with it.
get a bad player to
Can you let
not
me
commit
speak?
penalties. Sorry, I have lots to say about this game. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine. But I will tell you this, that Greg Bedard was adamant that he actually thinks that not only will the Patriots be fine with Ben Brown, it might be, I'm paraphrasing, better, not better, but maybe on the same level, potentially, maybe even a little better with the development of Garrett Wilson, though. They changed it a little bit
Jared
for
Wilson.
Bedard. What?
Jared
Jared
Wilson.
Wilson. Sorry, there's a Goldman for you. But now the big one that everyone's going to be harping on is Vidarian Lowe. And I liked hearing what Bedard said here. Where you're going to feel it is in the running game
But they
with
don't have
these
a
two
running game.
players. It's not the passing game. And if you watch this game, and this goes back to what you said, a lot of this has to do with coaching and play calling. Because last year you had Alex Van Pelt, who did
Who didn't
not
prioritize the
did
offensive
not
line?
did not prioritize protecting the quarterback.
Yeah.
Okay. Josh McDaniels, Greg Bedard mentioned his number one concern is protecting the quarterback. That's the first thing he does. So they will scheme this up, and you saw it in this game. They will chip. They will have a player chip, like Henry or Hooper will chip those players, and they will call plays, and they'll scheme around it. And I truly believe, Brady, that it's not going to be as bad as people think it is. But when people hear the name Vidarian Lowe,
They
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 think
get PTSD. Well, they
they
think
th-
primarily penalties.
well, they also
He only
think
came in.
turnstile. They also think turnstile.
Yeah, yeah. He also he came in what in the third quarter yesterday. He didn't commit any penalties, so that's already a step forward for
And
him.
by the way, he played fairly well. Okay, let's
Yeah,
give the guy
what
his due.
Drake May was only sacked like once yesterday. So the offensive line didn't play bad. The
No,
Bengals definitely they brought the house a couple times.
they did.
Definitely evident on that first drive and that I think on the last drive, yeah, the 3rd and like 7, I believe it was when the Patriots were at the Bengals 33 with like 2 minutes left. They just brought everybody, and Drake May basically just had to get rid of it, or else they were going to be out of field goal range. It was actually a pretty smart play. But I actually thought that the offensive line was pretty good yesterday in protecting the quarterback. It's
Yep.
also to do with Drake May being so much better at navigating a pocket than say Mac Jones was, or what's his Jacoby Brissett.
Right. And I shared this comment from my friend Chris here, which goes
Yeah,
along with
no,
what we're
yeah,
talking about,
I agree.
and also what you just said, Brady, because the way that they're now able to call the plays with McDaniels, but also what you said, it's about the quarterback. Mac Jones could not handle any kind of pressure. He had no pocket awareness. You have a
No.
quarterback now that has a lot of pocket awareness.
Yeah, and he's gotten so much better with it this year too. Even
That's
last
right.
year, he was taking a lot of sacks, but this
That's
year
right.
he's made. There's been lots of comments about that. He's made the offensive line look better than it actually is because I'm pretty
Right.
sure the O line is like 27th. Doesn't feel like it, but
Tom Brady did the
he,
same thing, Brady.
yeah, no, he navigates the pocket so well and
Yeah.
is able to make a play. So with you saying that he didn't play well yesterday, actually, I want to hear why do you think he didn't play well? Because I would say in the first quarter he didn't play well, but then the
Okay.
rest of the game he had another very solid outing. Besides the fact that they didn't score a touchdown in the second half,
Okay. So
only one
let's get
offensive touchdown.
sure. Let's get to it. So my thoughts is that Drake May was off in the first half, but overall he was not at the standard that he has set. Okay. And that's where I'm going to go on this. Now, for whatever reason, I've heard theories on why he started poorly. One of the theories I kind of buy a little bit that they were not in the same routine that they've been in for the past 17 weeks, meaning,
Mm.
you know, the fact that they
The
had that extra
10
time
days.
off might have thrown them off a little bit, made
So
them
is
thrown
that
off.
is that going to throw them off after the bye when they have to play
Very possibly.
Buffalo? But
Very
that can't happen.
possibly.
Like that actually cannot
Well,
happen.
I'm just telling you, very possibly. Now, there is a possibility. I didn't think about it at the time that maybe he hurt his hand off of that early pass. I don't know. I don't think he did because
Yeah,
he was
well,
still
what
throwing.
the ball that was like in between Henderson and like I think it was
Yeah,
Hunter Henry that was
yeah,
probably like one of his worst throws of the year. I
yeah.
I saw people saying that he was trying to do a no look pass and
Yes,
like
I
what
heard
an
that too.
idiot.
I heard that
I don't
too.
know. That was really weird. And then of course he had the pick six that was probably his worst throw of the year,
Right,
without a doubt.
right.
Maybe his
So,
career even.
right. That was bad. Wide open Hunter Henry. And he could do that in his sleep. Maybe I'm going to say it, not that he took them lightly, but he did not throw the ball. I'm talking about the Bengals, the way that he normally would throw with the zip that he did. He might have taken something off of it, and he kept doing it because even some of his completions were off, Brady. If you really looked at it, they weren't as crisp. Now, there were a few that were. The one to Pop Douglas
Pop
was
Douglas, yeah,
very
that was
crisp.
amazing.
Right. But more often than not, his throws were off. So he had an off day. Okay.
Which is
That's why
fine.
I'm just saying for the level that he has been playing at, that was not what we have expected. But you know what?
They still
It's
won.
okay. It's a one off. It's okay because you
Yeah.
know what he's capable of, and it's all right. And you know me, I could give two craps about the MVP voting and the MVP stuff, and I could care
Yeah.
less. I know you're invested, but
No,
I
I
keep
mean,
going.
as long
No,
as you win
you
a Super
are.
Bowl, I care about that more. I mean, Tom Brady
Well,
won an MVP and lost the Super Bowl in 2017. I mean,
well,
what does
well.
it mean
I
really?
I will tell you that in 2003, the Patriots beat two co-MVPs, Steve McNair and Peyton Manning,
Yeah.
to get to the Super Bowl. So I really don't care about winning an
Yeah.
MVP.
Yeah, 2007. Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on. Okay, this one's painful, Brady. We got to talk about it. You ready? The Patriots struggled to score from the 1 yard line.
It was
You and I
comical. It
were
was just comical.
You
It's
and
a
I
shame.
we were pulling our hair out. We were screaming at the TV. Let's call it what it is. We're like, what is going on? So this was a little bit concerning. Maybe it had something to do with the play of the offensive line, the issues that they were having, possibly, right? Another thing, and again, a theory that I've heard was that they do have plays to call that they're holding back, that McDaniels is potentially holding back, and did not want to show the Ravens and
Oh,
did not want to show the
mm.
Bills on
What? Just like
tape.
you don't want to show it against a bad opponent.
You don't want to show it against a bad opponent.
Well, then why
So,
were they not able to sneak it on the 1 yard line doing the
well,
tush
that,
push?
come on.
That's inexcusable. I
That's,
mean,
that is.
that's just.
Your,
And
your
also, I would
thoughts
like
on
to.
this, Brady?
I'd like to add. They did not put Travion Henderson in on any of those plays, at least in that running back. The times they ran the ball, the first time they were at the 1 yard line, Terrell Jennings and Ramondre Stevenson.
Yep.
Ramondre Stevenson's done. He was invisible
Brady,
yesterday.
he's not
Like,
done. He's coming back from an injury. Come on. Let it go.
okay, he's not okay. At least yesterday, he just doesn't. I told you
Brady,
before in the middle of the season, he doesn't have the burst that he once had
Brady,
at the
he's coming
beginning of his
back from an
career.
injury. He's
But
come
it
back
doesn't
from,
have to. Okay, it doesn't have to do with that. It has to do with the fact that he doesn't want to fumble, which is fine. Okay,
yeah.
he's slow, and that's not who he was,
He's
and that's
just
not
protecting himself. I would
which
rather
as
him
a
do
running back.
that.
Okay, which as a running back right now, you don't want as a team that wants to go on a deep playoff run. You want a guy who can easily, get in the end zone.
Mm.
I'm not a big
You
Ramondre
and I
fan
are
right
going to
now.
disagree on this. I, I,
Yeah,
I,
I mean,
I think
I still
Ramondre
think
still
they should
has a
start.
lot to offer.
Yeah, they should still start Henderson. They did so yesterday. He was, I mean, kind of a non-factor. They didn't really run the ball much yesterday. I think he only had like
Yep.
12 carries. It was mainly a passing day, but yeah. Uh, I think, as I said earlier, they just have to. If they were really hiding, what their true goal line plays are,
Yep.
from the Ravens and Buffalo, I would be so not very happy because I mean you put us Patriots fans through so much torture yesterday. Yeah, I see that. So much torture yesterday with the inability to score on the goal line.
Yep.
Like, I don't see much logic in that.
Yep.
Other than the fact that you're not really focusing on the game, which feels very unpatriot like.
Right.
To focus on a future game rather than the one that's going on right now. And so it's something that they definitely have to work on. It was easily the worst thing I've seen from them probably since their fumbling problems in week 3.
Okay.
There weren't any penalties, which is a
No.
bonus, but well, there was one. There was one. I think it was the offensive pass interference that Matt
Yep.
Collins had. Hunter Henry, he was wide open, but obviously definitely should not have been.
It was the right call. I hate to say it, Brady. That was
Yeah,
the
no,
right
it
call.
was clearly offensive pass interference,
Yeah.
but I mean, they just they can't let that happen against a good team
Okay.
because if that's against the number 32 ranked defense in the NFL, I don't want to see that against the number 1, which actually was the Browns, but you get my point.
I get your point. I want to share this from my friend Chris here. Okay, because
uh,
you've already brought this up. So let's talk a little bit about it. Do
social
you
media
think
beef.
Drink has been affected
Yeah,
by the social media beef with Cam Newton and others? And I'll let you go first. I have
yeah.
some thoughts on it too.
Okay, no, I think that's just a narrative that a lot of people want to put up just because Drake May had not a great game. He doesn't seem like the quarterback that really cares about the media. He always holds himself accountable. He puts his teammates first. I would not say this is really anything that we should really worry about
No,
in impacting Drake's game. I think it's just largely irrelevant. The ship has passed. It's nothing that should really be taken into account for, especially as we go into the next couple of weeks into the final stretch of the season, trying to win an AFC East title. That seems very un-Drake May and very unpatriot-like, honestly.
okay. So I agree with you. I don't think this has anything to do with anything. And Cam Newton, say what you want about Cam Newton. He's entitled to his opinion, but this is more to do with the talking heads on TV and radio than anything else. Drake May's a professional, a young professional quarterback. It has nothing to do with anything. So
No.
They can say what he can say what he wants. They can say what they want. If the Patriots go all the way to where we want them to go, it means nothing. I'm not saying that they're going to get there, but this will have
Yeah, they got the
no
1 seed right now.
bearing on it. It'll have none. It'll have no bearing on it, Brady.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Let's now talk about this because this involves the loss of Milton Williams, Brady. And I think you're going to agree with me on this.
Yeah.
The defense struggles to stop the run, and this was not good. I noticed it in the last game when Milton Williams went out. We saw it more in this game, and players have to step up. Now, maybe with Tonga being injured too, it made it even worse.
Oh yeah.
But this is something to be concerned about, except that we know that Milton Williams will be coming back at some point.
Yeah. Chase Brown, he's an okay runner. I guess going into the game, he was averaging like 6 yards per carry. But this is definitely something that we saw in the Jets game where the Patriots, uncharacteristically this season, this could not stop the run. I don't think it was actually as bad as people are saying. And I think the Bengals primarily ran the ball more than they threw it. So it just gave them more opportunities to get, those 5-6 yard gains. That would put them in like second and manageable. I feel like it was 2nd and 5, 2nd and 4 a lot for the Bengals yesterday.
Yep.
But like, did it really matter? Did the run, the defense really matter in the long run? Like, no. Because the Bengals did not score an offensive touchdown until the fourth quarter, and that drive was primarily them throwing the football. And then they converted a 4th and 1, running the ball on the last drive. But I mean, that's a 4th and 1. I mean, you don't have Milton Williams or Kyrie Tonga. I don't think. It's not concerning for this game or next game when you play the Giants, who I don't even know who their running back is. I think it's Wan'Dale Robinson. It gets me concerned when you play real teams like Buffalo and Baltimore, because those are teams that love to run the football. And if you can't stop that, they're also great at passing the football too. It'll just make their ability to move the ball so much easier. So definitely something that we have to look at. I don't think Milton Williams can't come back for the Bills game, right? He has to be out 4 games, so he was out this game. So probably not till Baltimore. So that Bills game is going to be very interesting, considering the fact hopefully Tonka's back, but it's really exposing the Patriots' lack of depth at that position. So it's definitely a storyline to look forward as we enter the last 5 weeks of the season.
See, I think they have depth at that position, Brady. I just don't think it's quality depth. I think that they have bodies, but
Durden was pretty good.
He's
yesterday.
okay.
He had a tip
but
pass.
I hate to say it.
Yeah.
They're just a guy. It's like they got a bunch of these players that are Jags.
Well,
just a guy.
Well, they're playing their role, and
right.
If that's the maximum you can get out of them, I mean, for a second stringer, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, coming up next to end the show, Brady and I are going to talk about the next game because we are on to the Giants. Okay, Brady, to finish up the show, let's talk about the Giants. Now, the Giants actually played fairly well yesterday. Maybe they get in that new coach bounce, whatever you call it, right?
Yeah.
But they played well. They ended up losing.
Well, they just fired their defensive coordinator. I don't know if you saw.
No, I did not see that.
Yep, he's gone.
Okay, so where are you on this game? It's going to be Monday Night Football. We are recording this on a Monday, so it's a week from today. How concerned are you about the Giants coming to Gillette Stadium?
I mean, listen, Jameis Winston actually played really well yesterday. This is going to be exactly like the Jets game, in my opinion. The Giants, maybe they'll hang in there for the first half. They'll make it. They'll be like 14-10 at the half, 17-10, something like that. But this is not a team that really can contend for all 4 quarters. They're 2-10 for a reason. They are not well coached. Obviously, they don't have a head coach. They don't have a full-time head coach. They're fired their defensive coordinator. There's not much going for them this season. We don't know if they're going to have Jackson Dart. He's concussed. Of course, we get that extra day. Jackson Dart or Jameis Winston, I still think they're not really that great of a football team. They have no receiving help. They lost one. Has Tyrone Tracy even played this year? I gotta check.
I'm not sure. I'm not big into the Giants, so I
don't. Yeah, he did actually play yesterday. I believe he's their number 1 back along with Wan'Dale Robinson. But I'm not worried. Like I'm not. I don't think anybody should be. This is they actually, fun fact, they're the first team. They're the first team eliminated from the playoffs this year. So you could say that maybe they have nothing to play for, so they're going to try to play spoiler. they're just not a good team. So I like
Okay.
the Patriots.
Okay, I'm going to share this from Chris. So the Patriots should beat the
Yeah,
Giants over 60
I
minutes.
agree.
Chris,
And
I would totally agree with you on that.
yeah,
And they also have extra incentive because they're going on a bye, which
yeah.
I think they actually really need. So
Oh
part of
yeah.
what's going on here, Brady, I think is wear and tear over the course of the season. So you're not going to get all of your best performances each and every week. It's just not realistic. But I think having a bye can really help them. They need to get to the bye. So for me, they need to just take care of business. This is a TCB taking care of business. That they do that, they should be fine. The Giants are playing out the string, as we would say. So we shall see what happens. And as Chris says, yes, actually, in this case, the bye week is pretty good
Yeah.
time right now.
They're
So
they're benefiting from a late
they're going to
bye,
benefit from this.
considering all
They
the injuries
right.
and
They
just
are actually
the
going to benefit.
exhaustion.
No, I think they're going to benefit a great deal from it. But I do want to mention because we actually have a pretty decent live audience and people that listen that might not be aware of this. Brady and I have been doing this show since the summer. We actually did predictions at the beginning of the year.
And
Okay, so I'm going to say it right now. Brady, you were at, well, first of all, the Patriots are at 10-2. We can end this way because it's kind of fun to look at it right now. Brady predicted 13-4. So the likelihood of you being
that's
right,
the minimum. Like at this point,
right, you could end up being right. Now, if I remember
11-6,
correctly, I predicted 11-6.
which would
So
mean they would lose to the Jets and the Dolphins or
yeah,
the
which I
Giants.
don't see it happen. So I'm going to be
Yeah.
happy to be wrong here. But when we looked at the team, we looked at the schedule. I'm not going to say that I'm totally surprised by this because you and I predicted this, but I'm just saying that I think they are ahead of schedule, but
Oh yeah.
I am going to toot our horns here to say that we kind of saw this coming, and part of it had to do with the opponents.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't have much else to add on that, to be honest. Yeah.
You mean you actually agree with me on something?
I mean, again, before the season, I mean, especially last year and the year before that, the Patriots had a really hard time with beating bad teams, and we've
Yep.
discussed this. They've done that masterfully this year.
Yep.
Um, you got 5 games you got to play left. The
Yeah.
fact that we're talking about that the quote unquote minimum could be 13-4, I mean, is wild considering the fact the team was 4-13 the last 2 seasons.
That's right.
Um, but
That's right.
kind of saw it coming because you had the right people for the
Yep.
job. You had the right players that you brought in free agency and
Yeah.
in the draft. I mean, we were not talking, at least us Patriots fans, we're not talking about playoffs in what is it now, week 13 now we're going
Yeah.
into at this point last season, the season
No.
before that, and even in 2022. I mean, it hasn't been like this since 2021. Even so, then the Patriots have a better record than they did in that season. And maybe this team, do you think this team's better than the 2019 team, the last Brady year?
Oh, I think so, Brady.
Because it actually has a lot of parallels because the Patriots beat up on a lot of bad teams that year.
Yeah,
And
but
there
that team
was a
didn't
whole
beat. But that team did not beat
they
the
didn't beat
Bills.
anybody.
That team did not beat
They
the
beat the
Bucks.
Cowboys and the
Come
yeah, they
on,
really just beat the Cowboys.
come on.
Yeah.
No. This team is I think already better, and I think part of it has to do with them being a real team here. And I want to give the coach, give Vrabel a lot of credit for this, his coaching staff and the players, because they've all bought in.
Oh, yeah.
And that is, and again, this
It's
goes
that culture.
back. It goes back to the culture thing. And I always have bought into that because I lived through it. I lived through that. I know it's not something that you should be taking for granted. There are people that are talking heads that all they care about is talent, Brady. And I'm here to tell you, talent doesn't win you games. It obviously you need some talent. You do need talent, but you need to play together as a team. And if you look at we're watching the Kansas City Chiefs right now, struggling, trying to kind of falling apart
They beat Indy.
because and again, I think part of it has to do with when you don't have all that talent, right? Then you find out about the type of team you have. Like what's going to happen to the Eagles when they start losing a lot of those players?
Well,
What's
they
going to
just
happen?
lost yesterday.
Right, right. What I mean, it's not the people that all they care about is a talented team. Don't get the NFL. They really don't.
Even the same thing with the Bills. I mean,
The same thing
who do
with
they
the
have at
Bills.
wide receiver?
The Bills built the team around Josh Allen. I told you this. I think it was a mistake the way they built their team. It got them to a certain level, but I would be shocked if Josh Allen, one, gets to a Super Bowl and two, wins one,
In his
because
career.
they're not built that way. They're built to get to a certain level. The Patriots are actually built to go all the way.
And
It might not be this year. It's probably not going to be this year, but they're built to win titles. Other
I would
teams,
sorry,
yeah,
I would just like to add on to that before you finish.
okay,
It seems like every game this year, the Patriots have a different player that steps up on offense. This
yeah.
game, it was Hunter Henry who went for 7 catches and over 100 yards.
You're making
Last
my
game,
point. You're making
last
my
game,
point.
it was Stephon Diggs who
Right,
went over 100. The game before that,
right,
when the Patriots played the Bucks, it was Travion Henderson. Like
right,
a team that has multiple players able to make a big play. Even Matt Collins, like having really consistent performances, like
yep,
that shows me that this team is more. It's not just based on talent, but chemistry
right,
and just fluidity in their offense and balance too. Just the fact that like if one player isn't playing well, like Kayshon Boutte was what he had like 2 catches for like 10 yards,
yep,
like. But that doesn't matter because the Patriots had Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper. They
yep.
utilized the tight ends. They have different ways that they are able to win, and that's why they won yesterday, and that's why they've
Exactly.
won 9 in a row. So there's my point.
There's your point. You made actually a good point, and we're gonna leave on a positive. But Brady, I hope you enjoyed doing the show with me. We haven't done one in a while. Final thoughts before we wrap up.
I'll give you my Giants prediction. I'd
All
say
right.
30-14. Yeah,
I'm going to go 24-14.
I think it's gonna be close. I mean, the
Yeah.
Patriots haven't played on Monday Night Football in like 3 years, but that could
Yep.
be something that could mess them up. But I just don't think it'll be close. It's the
Okay.
Giants.
Okay.
But you never know with Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston, if I don't know, if Jameis Winston, Jackson Dart, but yeah.
Okay. Good stuff. I just want to mention my final thoughts is I want to just thank everyone that has watched live. My X account has not worked on StreamYard, which that's what we used to broadcast for 2 months. Well, now it's working. And as we're about to end this broadcast, we have 70 people watching live with us. So I
Wow.
want to thank
Thanks,
everyone
guys.
that has spent time with us today. My son and me just talking Pats. We've been doing this since the summer. We can't do it every week because of our schedules, but I enjoy doing it with you, Brady. And I hope you enjoyed this episode.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. That's a good way to end it. Happy Thanksgiving. That's how I'm going to end this show. For Brady Goldman and Russ Goldman, thank you as always for listening and watching Patriots 4th and 2, the new generation.